with these lights before we light our Shabbat candles all together. To invite Shmuel forward to help us with our candle blessing on page 2.
Praise you, eternal God, sovereign of the universe, who houses us with his hope, command us to light her, kindle the lights of Shabbat.
We will continue our service on page 20 with the words of the Chadurgi, and as is our tradition, we will sing verses 1, 2, 5, and 9.
Shabbat, Shabbat. Let us take just a moment before we continue to welcome in each other and to greet the people near you. Wish them a Shabbat Shalom. I saw you.
We continue our service on page 26. To our sheets, to our song sheets. Please turn with me to page 30. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bidvaro ma'ariv aravim, v'chokhmah poteach she'arim, v'vibuna mishaneh itim, v'machalif et hazmanim, v'misader et hakochadim, v'mishmerotehem barakia kirtzono, borei yom v'layla, golel or mipnei choshech, v'choshech mipnei or, v'ma'avir yom u'mevi layla, v'mavdil ben yom u'vein layla, Adonai tzvaot shemo, el chai v'kayam, tamid yimloch aleinu le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai, ha'ma'ariv aravim.
On page 32. Everlasting love you offered your people Israel by teaching us Torah and mitzvot, laws and precepts. Therefore, Adonai our God, when we lie down and when we rise up, we will meditate on your laws and your commandments. We will rejoice in your Torah forever. Day and night we will reflect on them, for they are our life, and doing them lengthens our days. Never remove your love from us. Praise to you, Adonai, who loves your people Israel. Baruch atah Adonai, ohev amo Yisrael. You may be seated. We continue with the V'ahavta on page 36. In a world torn by violence and pain, a world far from wholeness and peace, give us the courage to say, Adonai, there is one God in heaven and earth. The high heavens declare your glory. May earth reveal your justice and your love. From bondage in Egypt we were delivered. At Sinai we bound ourselves to your way.
Inspired by prophets and instructed by sages, time and again we overcame oppressive forces.
Though our failings are many and our faults are great, it has been our glory to bear witness to our God, keeping alive in dark ages your vision of a world redeemed.
Let us continue to work for the day when the nations will be one and at peace. Then shall we rejoice as Israel did, singing on the shores of the sea. back to the words on our song sheet for Let There Be Love, Hashkiva.
Continue at the top of page 44. The people of Israel shall keep Shabbat, observing Shabbat throughout the ages as a covenant for all time. It is a sign for all time between me and the people of Israel. For in 6 days Adonai made heaven and earth, and on the seventh day God ceased from work and was refreshed. We turn now to the words of Tefillah on page 46, and I invite you to rise in body or spirit. Adonai, Sefat Ufi Agite Ilatecha. Adonai, open up my lips, that my mouth may declare your praise. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu, Elohei Avotenu Imotenu, Elohei Abraham, Elohei Yitzhak, Elohei Yaakov, Elohei Yisrael. page 55 together. May these hours of rest and renewal open our hearts to joy and our minds to truth. May all who struggle find rest on this day. May all who suffer find solace. May all who hurt find healing on this day. May all who despair find purpose. May all who hunger find fulfillment on this day. And may this day fulfill its promise. Baruch atah Adonai, Mekadesh Shabbat. On page 59. God of goodness, we give thanks for the gift of life, wonder beyond words, for the awareness of soul, our light within, for the world around us so filled with beauty, for the richness of the earth which day by day sustains us. For all these and more, we offer thanks. Baruch atah Adonai, hatov shimcha u'lecha na'el lechodot. to our Torah service on page 244, and I'd love to invite Jennifer to come forward and help me with carrying our Torah tonight. Please rise. Torah portion this evening comes from Parshat Chaye Sarah, which translates to the life of Sarah, though we don't really get to hear much more about Sarah. The beginning of the portion actually is counting up the years that she lived before she passed away. But there's a lot in this portion. Beginning, in some ways, it talks about the land, about buying the plot of land for Sarah to be buried in, but it also continues through Rebecca and being introduced to Isaac, and finally Isaac and Ishmael coming together to bury their father Abraham. As we know, these stories in Genesis cover as much content sometimes in Leviticus because there's so much we could say on each of these portions, especially in Genesis and Exodus. If you'd like to follow along, I will be reading from the beginning of the portion, which can be found in the larger of the two books, the Plat Chumash, on page 154. And I invite you to join with me for us to recite the blessing before Torah, which can be found on page 250 in the prayer book. Baruch hu et Adonai HaBarach, Baruch Adonai HaBarach le'olam va'ed, Baruch atah Adonai Eloheinu melech haolam, asher bachar banu mikol ha'amim, v'natan lanu et Torato, Baruch atah Adonai Noten HaTorah. V'yiyu chayei Sarah. Excuse me. These were and this was the life of Sarah. V'yashana v'esrim shana, 100 years and 20 years. V'sheva shanim, shnei chayei Sarah, 7 more years. These are the years of Sarah's life. V'tamot Sarah b'Kiryat Arba, and Sarah died there in Kiryat Arba. He Hebron, which is now known as Hebron, Eretz Canaan, in the land of Canaan. Vayavo Abraham lispod l'Sarah v'livkotah. And then Abraham came and went to mourn for Sarah and to cry over her. Vayakom Abraham me'al penei meto, and Abraham got up from before the face of his loved one who had died. Yedaber el bnei Chet, and he said before the Hittites, Lamor, quote, Ger v'toshav anochi imechem, I am a resident, I am a stranger as well as a resident among you. Tenuli achuzat kever, give for me a burial plot, imechem, with you, ve'ekbara meti milfanai, that I may then bury my dead from before my eyes. V'ya'anu v'nei Chet el Abraham, and then the Hittites responded back to Abraham, Lamor, saying to him, Lo, Shema'ini Adoni, listen up, or listen to me, please, my Lord. Nasi Elohim ata b'tochenu, you are a prince of God among us. B'mivchar kivarenu, kfor et mitecha, from the most choice of our places to bury, you shall bury your dead. Ish mimenu et kivro lo yichalem mimcha. So none among us, there shall not be anyone who will deny this burial spot for you. Mikever meitcha, vayakom Avraham vayishtachu la'am haaretz, and Abraham got up and bowed before the people of the land, Livnei Chet, to the Hittites, V'yidaber itam lemor, and he spoke with them, saying, Im yesh et nafshechem likbor et meti lefanai, if it is truly your will that I shall bury my dead from before my eyes, Shema'uni ufid'uli be'Ephron ben Tzohar, then please, I entreat you to introduce me to Ephron, the son of Tzohar, Vayitemli et Ma'arat Machpelah, that he shall make a deal with me for the cave of Machpelah, Asher Lo, that belongs to him, Asher B'tzei Sedehu, which is on the edge of the field. B'kesef Maleh Yitmenavi B'tochechem, but with full price, with the full amount, shall I give to him. La'achuzat kaver, as a price for the burial spot. The Ephron Yoshev b'toch b'nei Chet, and Ephron sat among the Hittites. V'ya'an Ephron hachiti et Abraham b'oznei b'nei Chet, and so it was that Ephron responded to Abraham so that all of the Hittites could hear him. V'chol ba'esh sha'ar iro, anyone within the gates of the city, lemor, saying, Lo Adoni, Shema'eni hasadeh natati lecha. Don't, do not have to pay me anything because, I just lost my place. Lo adoni shema'eni hasadeh natati lech. I'm going to give it to you. V'hama'arah, this land as well as the cave, asher bo, which is within it, lecha. Netatiha le'enei v'nei ami, netatiha I'm going to just keep reading. Netatia lecha, keber meitcha. Vayishtachu Avraham lifnei am ha'aretz, v'yidaber el Ephron be'oznei am ha'aretz le'mur, ach imata, lu shema'eni netati kesef hasadeh, kach mimeni, ve'ekbara et meti, shama. I'm going to stop there. And we can do the blessing together. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu melech haolam, asher natan lanu Torah emet, v'chayei olam l'shavu tochenu. Baruch atah Adonai, Eloheinu haTorah. I'm going to read the rest of that translation. I lose my sight. Ephron himself was sitting among the Hittites, and in the hearing of all the Hittites and all the town leaders, Ephron the Hittite answered Abraham, saying, "No, my lord, listen to me. I'm giving you the field and the cave that is in it. I give to you. In the sight of my people, I give it to you. Go ahead and bury your dead." And Abraham bowed low before the landowning citizens, and in their hearing, it's always so that they can be sure that someone hears, he addressed Ephron the Hittite. "Oh, if only you would listen to me. I will pay the field's price. Take it from me and let me bury my dead there." Ephron then made this reply to Abraham, "My lord, hear me. Land worth 400 shekels of silver. What is it? What is that between you and me? Go bury your dead." While the Torah is in our midst, we call to our mind those near and those far who are dear to us, who are in need of healing and of a hope that they will come to a place of shlemim, of wholeness, whether it be a refuat hanefesh, a healing of the soul, or a refuat haguf, a healing of the body. We think of them. We first think to those across the way as we offer a prayer for the redemption of the hostages. Our God, the one who raised Joseph up from the pit, be a refuge for the oppressed, a refuge in times of trouble. Send complete rescue and full redemption to all those held captive by the enemy. Strengthen their spirit and bring them our prayers, that they be protected from all harm. Implant understanding in the heart of the enemy, that they may return the captives in wholeness of body and spirit. Grant wisdom to the Israel Defense Forces, that they may secure freedom for the captives without loss of life. Grant strength of spirit and courage of heart to all the sons and daughters of Abraham, Sarah, and Hagar, to release bonds of captivity and allow us all to live in freedom. And in Psalm 91 we hear, "They shall call upon me, and I will answer them. I will be with them in distress. I will rescue them and honor them." For those who are among us, may the one whose blessings are many heal and bless us, and all those who live in the shadow of illness. May God's care bring us comfort and courage. May God's love open our eyes to the faith and compassion around us. May the source of hope and renewal show us the way toward peace of mind, wholeness within, and strength for the community. Source of blessings, as you inspired Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob, Sarah, Rebecca, Rachel, and Leah, inspire us too. Let us shine the soft light of human kindness in dark places. Let song, prayer, and silence be our instruments of care and healing. Let us all, the sick and the well together, Be blessed as God blessed Joshua. Chazak ve'amatz. Be strong and of good courage. We think especially at this time of Maureen Blomgren, Binyamina Batshava Va'adam, Tim Holman, Jim Locke, Jordan Arms, Ella DeGrow, Jeremy Watts, Brandon Watts, Bert Seidel, Bruce Brenner, Barb Gronefeld, Isaac Spicer, David Hernandez, Norman and Carol Leist, Andy Leifheit, Rob Mindell, Ken Rosenzweig, Kyle Kreider, Anna Coleman Garcia, Bobby DeSalvo, Justin Zeisloff, Natalie Katz, Cynthia Weston, Kajimira Kyra, Mariah Strickland, Eileen Eady, Catherine Cooper, Sid Gross, Cicely Nathan, and Gary Pacernick. I invite you to call forward others in our community who are in need of healing and wholeness as my hand goes around the room.
Victims of the floods in Valencia.
Karen Burchett, Michael Charleston.
Baruch atah Adonai Rofei HaCholim. Blessed are you, O God, who brings healing to all who are in need of healing.
We look to our song sheets for our song of Misha Barak, our song
We turn to page 252 in our prayer books, and I invite you to rise as you are able, or not. You can rise in spirit as we lift and bless the Torah. So I want to start with a story that for some of you it might feel quite familiar. Over the last few years, especially since COVID, I've come to really enjoy teaching Torah study online through Zoom. I really like it. It is a great way, and if you haven't, this could be a call for you to come. It is a wonderful way to stay connected and to become more involved with your Torah learning. But I will tell you, it is not without its interruptions, particularly from my son Ethan. Sometimes Ethan interrupts me to ask me something, often at just that wrong moment, and more often it's because DoorDash has arrived, delivering yet another hash brown from McDonald's. Of course, he brings one for me too, so he tries not to make me mad, or Dunkin' Donuts, because he prefers those to Bills. That's the bigger problem. But on a good day, these interruptions, they make me laugh, but they also reflect that challenge of holding multiple roles at that same time. And it's in those moments that I have to figure out how to balance my role as a teacher with my role as being a mother. How to give Ethan the attention that he needs whilst trying at least to stay focused on the group. It is a balancing act, and I believe it is not in the same way exactly, but familiar to many of us. Whether it's with friends, family, or colleagues, we all face moments where our boundaries are tested. And I imagine this might be especially relevant as we approach Thanksgiving. Thanksgiving is a time when our relationships take center stage. There are, God willing, many joyous moments filled with food, family, and tradition, but there are also times when we may need to confront the complexities of those relationships. We will need to stay vigilant in maintaining our boundaries to protect what we call shalom bayit, the peace within the home, during these visits, during these times of connection. This week's Torah portion, Chaye Sarah, believe it or not, offers us some wisdom to navigate these times. It is a portion focused on navigating complicated relationships, creating a sense of belonging even in unfamiliar or challenging circumstances. As we just heard, Abraham mourns the loss of Sarah and seeks a burial site for her. He approaches the Hittites and introduces himself with the following words, Ger v'toshav anochi imachem, I am a stranger and a resident among you. This statement seems contradictory. How can he be both a stranger and a resident? The rabbis, of course, wrestled with this tension and offer several interpretations. I'll only give you two. Rashi explains that Abraham was showing humility, that he was acknowledging his dependence on the Hittites, while also asserting his God-given right to that land. Ibn Ezra suggests that Abraham's words reflect the human condition. At different times in our lives, we are all strangers, stepping into unfamiliar situations, and residents, firmly rooted in our place. Thanksgiving gatherings often reflect this dynamic. At one moment, we may feel completely at ease, surrounded by our loved ones and traditions. The next, perhaps there's a heated discussion or an old family tension that may make us feel like strangers, or at least unsure of our place. Abraham's words remind us that it's okay to hold both realities. What matters is how we navigate them. At the Thanksgiving table, we will likely encounter moments where boundaries become essential. Maybe a relative wants to dive into the election results, and you know it's going to spark tension. Or perhaps someone brings up an old family grievance. In those moments, setting a boundary is an act of care for yourself and for the relationship. It might sound like, let's focus on catching up. I've been wanting to hear all about your family. Simply redirecting in a pleasant tone can truly shift the direction of the conversation, keeping your connection intact. As Abraham's story shows, boundaries are sacred. They create space for meaningful engagement, and they help us honor ourselves and others. The importance of welcoming others goes beyond the Thanksgiving table. In our own congregation, I believe we've seen the power of making people feel at home. A member recently shared that they were nervous coming to one of their first Shabbat services. But even though they sat quietly in the back, unsure what to expect, another congregant, usually Carol, introduced themselves and invited them to sit together. And it was this small gesture that transformed that experience into one of warmth and belonging. This is what it means to create a welcoming space, to notice when someone feels like a stranger, and to help them to feel like the resident. Beyond our family gatherings, many of us are also grappling with the rise in anti-Semitism. In recent weeks, incidents of hate have left us feeling like strangers in places we once called home. These moments remind us of the importance of asserting our identity while building bridges of understanding. I recently heard from another congregant who had faced this head-on. When a friend made an offhanded anti-Semitic comment, perhaps they didn't realize it was, I'll give them the benefit of the doubt, but this individual didn't ignore it. Instead, they calmly explained why the comment was harmful and were able to share a bit about Jewish history. It was indeed a tough conversation, but they believe it led to greater respect and understanding. Like Abraham, we are balanced. We are called to balance humility with confidence, asserting our place in the world while inviting others into dialogue. And so as we prepare for Thanksgiving in this coming week, I want to wish that all of us are able to carry Abraham's example with us, and perhaps ask ourselves the following questions. How can I create a sense of belonging for others, whether it's at our Thanksgiving table or here in our community and our congregation? What are the boundaries that we might need to set to protect the peace and nurture those relationships? How can we take active steps to make others feel welcome in spaces that might feel unfamiliar or intimidating to them? Abraham's story reminds us that belonging isn't something we wait for. Belonging is something we create. Whether at home, in our synagogue, or in the wider world, we do have the power to make others feel seen, valued, and at home. May we approach this Thanksgiving with open hearts, clear boundaries, and a commitment to making space for one another. Shabbat shalom. I'd like to invite you to turn to page 256 in your prayer book, and if you are able to rise, I invite you to do so in body or spirit. It's time we the Lord is here. page 293. Our thoughts turn to those who have departed this earth, our own loved ones, those whom our friends and neighbors have lost, the martyrs of our people whose graves are unmarked, and those of every race and nation whose lives have been a blessing to humanity. As we remember them, we meditate on the meaning of love and loss, of life and death. We think of our loved ones whom death has recently taken from us. We are in a period of Shiva for Jonah Isaacson, as well as the period of Shloshim for Henry Guggenheimer, Helen Urey, Sarah Carpio, Miguel Carpio, Lee Ballas. We also remember those who have died this season in years past, those whom we have drawn into our hearts with our own. Sterling Archer, Blanche Belenken, Gilbert Belenken Jr., Louis C. Booth, Celia Brackman, William Brummer, Harry Cohen, Worley Collins, Morris Cooper, Alex Cutler, Sidney Donenfeld, Lorna Eichhorn, Margaret Emhoff, Marcia Froelich, Jessica Gordon, Robert D. Gradsky, Benjamin Greenblatt, Kate Hampel, Gertrude Kahn, Roberta or Bobby Cantor, Frida Leet, Joseph M. Lessner, Ruth Levitt, Amelia D. Linder, Joan Lustig, Charlie H. Marks, or Charles H. Charlie Marks, Ruth Mellett, Bess Menikoff, Hilda J. Mendel, Lester M. Myers, Samuel Roth, Linda W. Ruckman, Rosa F. Sajevitz, Maurice Sajevitz, Israel Jacob Saul, Colonel Byron Lee Schatzley, Rosetta M. Schwartz, Joseph Seaman, Isidore Seidenstein, Esther Siegel, Naomi Sladen Schaefer, Benjamin Smilge, Ben L. Smiderman, Joseph Thal, Charles C. Wasserman, Bessie Weinstein, Frank Webrin, Leo Younghart, Henrietta Younghart. If there are other names to be remembered or names to be pronounced more correctly, I invite you to please call those out as my hand goes around the room. I invite all who are in mourning or who are remembering to please rise first. And we all rise together as we offer supportive community through the words of the Mourner's Cottage on page 294. Yizgadal v'yitkadash shmei Rabban, v'yalma divrach birutei v'yamlich mochutei, v'chayecho v'yomecho, uv'chayei d'chol beit Yisrael, v'agala v'zman kariv v'yuru amen. Yehi shmei Rabba v'varach le'olam v'lalmei almaya. Yitbarach v'yishtabach v'yitba'ar v'yitramam v'yitnaseh. V'yitadar v'yitaleh v'yitalal shmei d'kudsha b'richu. Le'ela mikol birchata v'shirata. Tushbachata v'nechemata. Ta'amiran v'yalma v'yimru amen. Yehi shlama Rabba v'yishemaya. V'chaim aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Osei shalom b'romav, hu ya'aseh shalom, aleinu ve'al kol Yisrael, v'yimru, amen. Zichronam livracha, may their memories always and only be for a blessing among us. Amen.
You may be seated. We close our service today singing the words of Adon Olam, which you can find on page 321.
Shalom. join together in the hallway for Kiddush and Motzi. Shabbat Shalom.
Wasn't very good, but it worked.